Hey, this is Dan, and I'm going to show you how to replace the spool cover. I don't really know how, so I'm making this up as I go. The first thing I did was I wanted to leave the ropes in the tracks so that I can use the old ropes to pull the new ropes in. So what I did was I started with the pull cover all the way open, and I cut along the leading edge and the sides, and then I just held the cover while my son pushed the close button on the automatic closer, and I just held the cover and tore the cover up the side. So as you can see, the cover is all the way closed, but I've torn the top off of it all the way back. So now I'm going to cut up these pieces. I'm going to cut strips, cut this old top into strips so I can throw it away, and then we'll come back after that. Okay, so we cut up the pool cover. That is a 46-foot by 18-foot wide pool cover. Cut up into slices. It's pretty small. We can fit that in this week's trash. And then, so all the cover materials off the reel. You can see in here, the cover's gone, but we still have the rope in the tracks. All right, see all the rope right there? It's still going in and out of the track. So now we can do something with those ropes if we want to, like pull the new ropes through. And the spool is quite disgusting, so we're going to clean that off. Okay, so here's the old cover, or the new cover. The old one is all sliced up and put in the trash. I've cleaned up my spool down here as best I can. I cut the ropes off. The old ropes are still in there. As you can see over here on the pulleys. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread that cover out, and I'm going to pull in the cover ropes into the track with these old ropes. Alright. So my plan to pull these new ropes in with the old ropes is I'm going to use this sewing tool that I got a few years ago to repair my cover. I got this. I'm going to sew these two ropes together end to end and then pull them through the track. Of course, I'm going to trim this one off and melt it with a torch here so that I can have a nice end that won't fray, and I could sew them end to end. Okay, we'll check back after I do that. Okay, it's a little sloppy, but I put about 6 stitches in there. Pretty hard to see. So now I'm going to pull it through the track. At the other end of the track down there, there's a pulley where this rope has to make a U-turn. So I expect to get a little resistance when I hit that. And when I do, I might just go down to the other end and make sure I don't break it where I've sewn it together. Oh, there's the U-turn. Alright. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna go down there and take a look. Pause. Okay, now I'm down at the other end of the track. I'm gonna pull the track out. Okay, so I've pulled all these spacers out. These are basically just wedges that wedge the track to the underside structure under the coping. So I pulled it out. You can see I got my old and my new ropes right here. And so I just wanted to come down here and make sure that my new rope gets through safely. All right, I'm not going to put all the wedges back in just yet. I'm going to wait until we get the rope all the way through, just in case. Come on. Out, untangled it, trying to reduce as much twisting as possible. I'm pulling it through now. There's the new rope, yay. Okay. So it's way too soon to attach this to the spool. We gotta get the cover in there, and because the two ropes will be different lengths. This rope goes to the other side of the pool cover, which I gotta pull that rope through now. So obviously that rope will be longer than this rope. So what we'll end up doing is closing the pool cover and then adjusting these ropes, putting them on there. Anyway. So, two things I'm going to do different on this side so far, after doing that side. This side, I'm going to stretch the rope out first, and then melt it, and then stick them together like that. See how strong it is. So I've seen people melt the ropes together like that. Well, I've seen it on videos. So See what happens here. So another thing is this rope actually feeds all the way over here. I could pull it through from here. Okay. It suddenly got hard again. You know what that means? It's down at the end. It is not going to go around that U-turn. So, we can have that fun again, pull that track out. And it doesn't want to make it through that U-turn. Not surprising, it's a pretty tight fit. Alright. Okay, so I went down to that far track over there in the corner. I pulled that track out, got the spliced rope around the end pulley. Now I'll finish pulling it through. Oh, it's stuck again. Why? 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 Yeah, the old splice doesn't like to fit through everywhere. But it's coming. It's a-coming. All right. Okay. See that? New ropes pulled all the way through up to the cover. So we can remove our splicey, our nicey splicey, like that. And there's the new rope. Might as well get the old rope out of the way. So now I got to get the leading edge of the pull cover. So there's a rope inside this seam right here and it fits inside the leading edge. So, touch your toesies. Okay, so I've installed the new guide right here. It's this black plastic part because they get super worn out. Actually, this one it's like almost ready to break. It's not that bad. This one's still actually good for a little while. But anyway, get a new guide. Always put a new guide when you, or a new slider. That's a slider, not a guide. This is a guide. These are the new stainless steel guides that'll last forever. versus the plastic ones they used to have. But the sliders are still plastic. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side and I'll show you how I installed these. Okay, so the stainless steel sliders go into here. Now, for some reason, the track is supposed to slide under this little lip right here. My tracks are a little bit thicker, maybe because they're older or something, but they do tap in pretty close. And then I'm going to drill the hole. My old sliders didn't, they were different. They went through the other hole. So now back up. Back off. You gotta put these, since we're metal on metal now, we're stainless on aluminum. Gotta put down these little stickers. These little clear stickers stop the corrosion caused by the dissimilar metals. There, because that's going to rest up against the bottom piece of metal. Like as you learned in your high school science class, when you put dissimilar metals together, they corrode. And I will tap that back in place. Make sure the hole's going to line up. And then the other piece of clear sticker goes right here where it's going to touch this metal. This is a small detail, but it's fairly important if you're going to have your pool for more than a couple years. Top cover just slides on like that. Well, there's a little slot on the bottom for the nut, so you don't have to hold the bottom with a wrench. Just get it close. And that's all there is to that. So let's see. So now the guide. So here's a really worn out. I keep saying guide. This is a slider. So this slider's really worn out. See, it's breaking off there. These things aren't cheap. It's really a bummer. A hunk of plastic like this, they charge you an arm and a leg for it. Like $70 each. Come with some nice new stainless steel screws that I'll save for another project. Okay, so you could do it, yeah, it's probably easier to do it like this. There's no front or back, these things are the same. I'll go ahead and do it like this. You gotta get this, slide this thing on the rope too. Okay, so this is gonna go, it's got a slot right here, it's open on the end. That slips onto the rope. And then into the track. It ends up getting butted up real close, like something like that. here, get bolts through the top through the cover. Caught some slack and just kind of work it on there through that open jaw there. It's not as hard as I'm making it look. And the plate goes under the cover, slides up to the cover like so. That will actually bolt onto the cover. Lock nut, and we leave it. Mine doesn't. I don't know if it's supposed to be this way or Jack Hole from Corona that originally installed my cover. Thanks to him, I learned how to do this myself because he did such shitty work. I had to learn how to do it. So, anyway, it seems like my bar is too short, and my pool's crooked. So, I one end of the pool has to be fully extended like this. The other end of the pool is fully in. So, it's got this lock nut on there. I basically just keep it snug so I can slide in and out. That's it. It's gonna go drop down in. Go into there. Of course, gonna have to remove the top of the slider first, but before I do that, you got to get the bolts in this top piece. I want the cover to be over more. The cover's a little wide. So, Libby! Alright, we got the new slider, the new stainless steel guide installed. We punched these two holes in the fabric, they attach to the bracket for the leading edge, and now it's time to attach the ropes. Now this is the scary part here because there's no turning back once you cut these ropes. So the ropes are the longest when the pool cover is open, right? Because it pulls on these ropes to close the pool cover. So I want to cut these ropes long enough to wrap once. Pulleys down there, and they should be all lined up right now. Got the pole lined up, got the ropes through the pulleys. Should cut these even length, and then I'm going to cut these a little bit too long, and I'll cut them again. I'm scared to screw this up. Okay, as you can see now, we used the motor to close the pool cover. You know, steadily, one guy pushing the button, the other guy making sure everything got guided in the tracks correctly, and that went pretty smooth. So now that the cover's all the way closed, we got to attach the long loose end of the cover to the spool. There's 3 or 4 stainless steel screws. Okay, so here's the tools that we needed to do the job. Our trusty dog, Lulu, go. Our trusty obedient dog, Lulu. So that's the torch. So we use the propane torch to seal the frayed ends of the rope. And then we got wrenches we use for nuts. I use this for sewing, use this to sew the rope, old rope to the new rope, so I can pull it through the guides. Sockets, wrenches, a lighter to light the propane. I broke a screw off on the spool, so I needed to cut it off with this, file it smooth with this because I didn't want it to jack up my rope. I had to drill a new hole with this. Power tool, this is for nuts and screws and everything. Hammer to put these shims back in. My decking must have settled or something because I don't need all these shims anymore. It's way too tight. You know, catch-all tools, big pry bar. So that guide is, that slider's shot. I'll hang on to this slider. Could save me an emergency. And then these guide blocks don't look too bad. So again, they could save me an emergency. I'll probably keep those. And that's it. Pool cover works great. It works better than it did when that jack hole from Corona installed it. It works better than it did when that jack hole from Corona installed it. It works better than it did when that jack hole from Corona installed it. So plus, it only cost me $1,600 putting the cover and the new sliders and the new guides. And the lowest quote I got to have it installed was $2,700. So I saved myself a couple grand there. Yeah, it took all day, but next time I'll be able to do it in about 3 hours, I bet. Later.